Where are those two numbskulls? We need to start the Pokemon game tier list.
Hey, Barack, Joe should be getting on soon. We just got back from Taco Bell.
20 minutes later.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm really excited about this tier list.
Sleepy, what the fuck? You dropped me off like 30 minutes ago. Where were you?
Yeah, me and Donald had enough time to get a ranked game in.
I was on the toilet fighting for my life. I'm never getting the spicy double steak grilled cheese burrito again.
TMI, Joe. Anyways, you're here now. Let's get the tier list underway, starting with red, blue, and yellow.
These games are really good. I'm going to say at least A tier.
Joe, let's not start at the first entry in the list. I'm sorry, but you're wrong, dead wrong. These three games are just straight up unplayable in the Lord's year of 2023.
What the fuck are you talking about, fat man? These were the first games. They set the foundation.
Joe, these games are unplayable today. They are riddled with mistakes and bugs. Anyone below the age of 30 should never play these games. They are undeniably the worst way to experience Kanto.
Haters conforming to the popular opinion, but I guess you have made some good points, but Kanto is still the best region.
Barack, throw these prehistoric pieces of crap in unplayable.
Next is gold, silver, and crystal. Now, these games are still very old and slow, but they are an upgrade over the first games.
I agree. Johto is a region full of history and beliefs. It feels very real. There aren't many new Pokemon, but the new ones are really cool.
I agree. I really enjoy the contrast between Johto and Kanto. Kanto seems like a bustling country, whereas Johto is more of a feudal country. Also, you get to visit Kanto in the post-game.
Not to mention, you get to see how much Team Rocket is struggling after what happens in Red and Blue. And the fact you get to fight Red and Blue is very cool. This game, in all sense of imagination, is a sequel, and a good one at that.
However, these games are significantly worse than the remakes and are still held back by the Game Boy. They should be no higher than C tier.
Agreed. Okay, on to Gen 3 games. We can go ahead and put Emerald in S tier.
I agree these games have something most of the series don't, and that's difficulty.
I agree with you, Joe. These games are very difficult, but its difficulty makes grinding a necessity. And if you're not playing on an emulator, that makes it very tedious. But I still think Emerald is S.
The biggest minus in this game is definitely no physical special split. Plus, it has one of the best soundtracks in the series. I say put Emerald in S and Ruby and Sapphire in B.
I think that's a fair placement.
Okay, on to Fire, Red, and Leaf Green. These games are a lot better than the first games. I still think they are very mid.
I agree Kanto is a lot more manageable to explore in this game, but I still feel like it's a not very fun experience due to there not being a split.
I think the originals have way more charm than these remakes. I think B tier is the move for these games.
For the sake of time, that sounds good to me. Now on to Gen 4, starting with Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum.
I'm going to say it, fellas. I believe that these three games are some of the most overrated games of all time.
Wowie Trump, that's a harsh statement. I'm wondering why you think that.
Well, Sleepy, first of all, two of the three are just unplayable and draw no reason to ever go back to them, making them completely obsolete.
I actually agree with Donald here. Diamond and Pearl are completely unplayable, the battles are slow, the movement in the world is equally slow. However, Platinum is very good, Sinnoh is very fun to explore, and having the game take place during winter is a very unique idea.
Plus, I believe these games have the best group of starters out of any games.
Let's put Diamond and Pearl in Unplayable and Platinum in A. For the sake of time, can we throw Heart Gold and Soul Silver in S?
Sure, I don't have much to say about it. It's just a perfect Pokemon experience, lots of quality of life improvements, and added Pokemon following you for the first time. Also a challenging experience.
They are not the best games, but they are damn close.
On to Gen 5, what are your guys' thoughts with the reboots of the series?
These are the best video games ever made. They are the peak of the series, and nothing before or after has even come close. And I blame everyone watching this video for not buying these games when they came out for the reason Pokemon has stopped trying.
Whoa, slow down, Donnie. They are amazing and some of the best games, but why do you feel so strongly?
I also want to hear your reasoning. I mean, they have the best soundtrack in the series, but what else?
Let me tell you two normies what's up. Not only does it have the best soundtracks, like you said, Barack, but Game Freak did something unprecedented. They forced longtime players to use a full team of Pokemon they had never seen before. They added 156 unique Pokemon.
Ah, yes, the ice cream Pokemon and the garbage Pokemon are so unique.
What the fuck, Joe? I thought you liked ice cream, you fuck. Joe, I had let some things you have said today go, but I'm not going to let you sit there and slander Gen 5 like that when your favorite region has bird and rat and magnet Pokemon.
He's got you there, Joe. Also, the graphics and story are the best in the series to this date. That pixel art is absolutely spectacular and should have been the way they did things moving forward.
and somehow the second games are even better. The only slight I can give is that you don't battle the MC from black and white like you do with red and gold and silver.
I'm putting them both in S tier and on to Gen 6.
I think X and Y are mid, but in a good way. I think a lot of bad decisions hurt otherwise enjoyable games.
Joe, I 100% agree with you there. This game had the foundation of good things like Mega Evolution to spice up the formula. This could have been a good Pokemon game, but the small things like the rivals and the lack of difficulty really hurt this entry.
I do agree with some of the points, but the amount of free OP Pokemon you get in this game is just disgusting and makes this game a cakewalk.
You know, you don't have to use the Pokemon they give you, right?
It's not just that Sleepy Joe, the 8th gym leader, only has 3 Pokemon and one of them only knows 3 moves.
I think we can all agree that a third version with increased difficulty could have saved this region of Kalos.
I'm going to put it in C tier. Or, as is next, I really have nothing to say about these games. I think they are on the same level as the original versions, but what do you guys think?
I would have to agree with you on that. Take Barry.
I second that the only thing I can think of is the Eon Flute was a very cool way to fast travel as well as catch a bunch of old legendaries. I'd just throw them next to Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay, now on to Sun and Moon.
Let's get this over with and throw these 2 trash games into unplayable. We don't even have to discuss this one.
I don't think I've played these ones. What's the deal?
I get what Donald is saying. These games are so obnoxious. Every 5 steps, you have another 3-minute-long cut scene with Hao and Lily spitting exposition. It's holding your hands for the first 5 or so hours, making replaying it impossible.
It's a shame since when you do actually get to play the game, it's pretty fun, it's challenging, and has a new spin on the gym formula, which works very well. But the hand-holding reminds me of my disgusting ex-wife nagging me and telling me what to do every 5 minutes. On the other hand, Ultra Sun and Moon are great. They take out the hand-holding for the most part and add an exciting final boss.
I'm going to put Ultra Sun and Moon in a tier. Okay, on to the Let's Go games.
Throw these kiddie games in F tier. These games are an insult to the originals.
Hold it right there, Geriatric Joe. I'm about to spit the hottest take of all time. The Let's Go games are the definitive way to experience the Kanto region and are the best entries in the series since Black and White 2.
Bullshit. I'm not going to let you speak utter nonsense. The Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are 100 times better.
Donald, I'm very interested in this. I haven't heard of this take before. They have a lot of missing features.
That's true. Although they took out held items and no abilities, this game is still very enjoyable and is still somewhat challenging. It has a fun, unique catching system. It takes grinding out of the picture completely, and it has the best graphics in the post-DS era, and the physical special split finally reaches a Kanto experience.
That's nonsense. When you take out all of the minor details, the games just become a pressing A simulator. Plus, your overpowered starters are
Fake
bullshit.
news, just don't use the starter.
Listen, Donald, I just don't feel in good conscience to put this above Fire Red and Leaf Green. If it had the abilities and held items and some more Pokemon, it would probably be an S. So I think B tier next to the remakes is a good spot.
Fine, you nerds, you just don't like to sit back and enjoy a fun experience, I guess.
I'm sorry, Donald, but we need to move on to Sword and Shield.
F tier, this is the absolute bottom of the barrel for the franchise, and I'm not even talking about Dexgate. The wild area is negative fun to explore after the first few hours. Honestly, the only good part of the game is the music and Hop, and I guess the competitive scene, but who cares about that?
Donald, first of all, Hop may be the worst rival ever, but I agree the game is not sure what it wants to be. It wanted to explore open world elements, but it still had the classic Pokemon roots.
This game is very bad. I'm going to put it in the F tier. It also introduced the death of the third game when the DLC was announced, which I'm not a fan of. Next is BDSP.
Let's just throw them in F. They suck. Everyone knows they suck. Let's move on to the games worth talking about.
Agreed. All I have to say about this game is that it's at least better than Sword and Shield. This has the worst characters in any game I have ever played in my life. And it has the same problem that Sun and Moon has, where there are unskippable cutscenes every 5 minutes, making it impossible to replay.
The new forms are pretty cool, but the open world is empty, and the graphics are just god-awful. The time travel stuff is interesting, but not enough to want you to keep playing.
The catching mechanic is definitely the best part of this game, and should be in every game going forward. I think C is a good spot. Okay, last up is the newest games.
These games are definitely better than the BDSP and Sword and Shield games, but they still miss the mark completely. These Pokemon tubers like Wolf Glick do nothing but praise these half-assed games brainwashing people. Some people will defend anything Game Freak puts out.
Donald, I'm sorry, but that last bit was one of the most pathetic things I have ever heard. These games aren't great, but some people just like these games. I'm not sure why, but more power to them.
Good way to put it, Joe. For me, the new Pokemon added are getting worse. I can't say I really like any of the Pokemon added in this gen. The open world is a great improvement on the wild area, but it's still very empty with nothing to do besides catch Pokemon. It gets very stale.
Also, people praise the fact that you can challenge the gyms in any order, except that's just false. They don't even scale the opponents. Pokemon, how stupid can Game Freak be? And don't even get me started on the lamest team ever, Team Star.
All right, we get it. Let's put it in D. Do you guys want to go get some Slurpees at 7-Eleven?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.